Mike, you have a new project.
I do.
Yes,
I do.
You and some other agents have a new project. Tell us about that. When can we expect it? What is it going to be, and what are we doing with it?
So it is a...
Welcome, everyone, to Real Talk with My Homies. I'm your host, Jake Wortrip, licensed real estate agent with Homepage Realty in Louisville, Kentucky. Today, I'm joined by another Homepage agent. Today's guest is someone that I've definitely wanted to have on for a while because I do love his opinions, his insights on the industry. Since 2019, which has been 5 years, this man has sold 64 homes for a total of $17.5 million. That is on the MLS. Maybe there's probably more. There's probably some off-market deals that weren't accounted for.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I've been a fan of you from afar, but now I get to have 30 minutes with you. He is your realtor's favorite realtor, Mike Mudd.
Wow.
How are we today?
That's a pretty nice intro.
Yeah, how are we today?
I sound fancy.
We doing good?
I'm doing awesome.
Awesome. I'm glad you're here. So last episode, I started off with a story. This one, I'm going to start off with a joke. All right? Mike, did you know that Sylvester Stallone is on his third marriage?
Is that all?
Yeah. I guess you could say that the first one was Rocky and the second one was Rocky 2. But no, on a serious note, I posted this on Facebook yesterday, and it got a lot of attention. I made a joke out of it with the NAR settlement stuff that, I didn't know we weren't allowed to use professional photos anymore. I'm seeing that all over the place right now. I don't know if they're connected, but are we really trying to squeeze every penny out of a listing now? And I mean, if you are a listing agent and you're showing up with your phone to take pictures, it feels like it is just, I don't know what's going on.
Oh my gosh. I think I just had this conversation on social media here last week. Mm-hmm. I think it's unprofessional, mm-hmm. lazy, mm-hmm. and I would go so far to say as it may be an ethics violation because you're putting yourself above your client's best interest. There is so much available for us out there, so many professional photographers for us. There's not an excuse to use your cell phone for your listing photos.
If you are a seller and you meet with a listing agent and they say, all right, get the listing contract signed. Okay, let me get my phone out. Let's get some pictures for the listing and we're good to go. Take that listing contract back and rip it up. So I don't know if you can actually do that, but maybe.
Run it through the shredder.
Yeah, rip up that listing contract and call somebody else. I'm not saying that you have to have the creme de la creme, the royalest of royalist photos, but not everyone's fortunate enough to have what we have in a media department that can roll out.
Sure.
But you can still get a professional photographer. It's not that expensive. Yeah.
And I hired a professional photographer for every listing. Listen, we make decent money for what we do.
Yes.
And we need to perform at a professional level. We want to be considered pros in the business, professional service. We need to act like it.
Yeah. I'm doing a deal right now, and my listing is being bought by somebody, and they're contingent to sell. Their house has cell phone photos, and I am trying to figure out a way to nicely ask the other agent if professional photos are coming soon. I've yet to figure out how to do that because I do not want to insult her, especially if they are professional photos, because they're very bad if they are. But they look like a cell phone angled down. Every room is just angled down from a cell phone for some reason.
Yeah.
Here's a little trick too. If you are going to take a picture with your cell phone, at least use an Apple and put it on 0.5 mode. It makes everything look bigger. It makes everything look nicer.
Well, let's make sure not bigger.
It makes it more spacious. Makes it look more spacious.
Right.
It gives you a wider frame.
Right. It gets more of the room in. It doesn't falsely portray the size of the room.
It's more,
because we do get accused of that a lot.
A lot, yes.
And maybe some people do. I don't. This is the room.
Yeah.
This is just a different.
I'll do that if I'm doing walkthrough videos of a house. I'll always put it on 0.5 because you get more spectrum.
It's a wide angle.
Yes. All right, Mike. What is one of the most important parts about real estate? The title. Mike, you know one of the most important things about real estate transaction? I just told you. Title. Title company.
Yeah. I'm like, there's so many to choose from. Like,
not only do they handle the title search, but they prepare the deed, handle any legal matters that arise, and help smooth out even the toughest situations. As a Louisville realtor, I use Limestone Title and Escrow as much as possible. They have never let me down. With 7 on-staff attorneys and a team of over 40 dedicated title experts, they've got you covered in Kentucky and Southern Indiana. Their costs are competitive, but their willingness to go above and beyond is priceless. I'm fumbling all over this. Sorry, Limestone. I cannot recommend Limestone Title enough for all your real estate closings. Follow them on all their social media at Limestone Title Louisville. I said this last time, I'll say it again. I do genuinely use Limestone. They do not have to pay me to do this, however they did, and please continue to pay me for this.
Right.
But I've used them.
Are awesome.
I would use them before, and I would continue to use them after. So,
title's huge. It's a really important part of the process. They do. You want to make sure that the house that you're buying is free and clear, and there's not weird stuff that's attached to it that will come to bite you later on down the road.
My sister was actually a beneficiary of title insurance. She lived in a house over in Worthington Hills. There was some back taxes from before she bought it that somehow just never manifested until now. She gets a bill for like $8,000 in the mail. She's like, "Oh, I'll have $8,000." It's not even I didn't even know the house. So I was not licensed when she bought the house. I was not a realtor at the time, but I am when she got the issue. So she called me, said, call title company that processed the sale. You should have title insurance, and it should take care of it. And it was really easy. So this is not an endorsement of title insurance, but it has happened.
Yeah, it does.
Someone in my family. Right. So this is not one of those snake oil type of setups. It's like any insurance. It's pointless until you need it.
Yep.
All right. So an old classic that we used to do on the podcast was conspiracy theory. I'd bring a conspiracy theory and then get your opinion on it. I've got a good one today.
I was curious about that.
Yep. All right. So Apple phone company. They used to have headphone jacks. All right. They don't now. Everything is through this little USB-C that they have on the bottom. The conspiracy theory on that is they changed it because they wanted to bring Apple Pay into the industry. And the only other reason to use your headphone jack besides headphones, which everyone started using the AirPods anyway, is Square. The Square reader. So they brought the headphone jack. They took the headphone jack away in order to push out Square from being a candidate to use their phone. Because as a small business owner in the past, I used Square. It costs a decent amount more for some reason to manually type in the phone or the credit card number. There's no tap option on your phone. But if you were able to swipe with the little Square reader, it was cheaper than having to punch in the code.
Sure.
Because I guess it was more verification that the card was physically there and somebody wasn't giving you over the phone. I don't know. I'm not a credit card expert. But that is our conspiracy theory of the day. That Apple tried to push out Square. And I think Square ended up buying like websites, and I think they're pivoting anyway.
Well, if that was the case, couldn't Square just change their adapter to?
Sure, but those little things were. You signed up for a Square account, and they sent you like for free. Like
but still,
the cost of it was insignificant.
They could have just changed it to a lightning plug.
Yeah, they could have. That's fair. That's why it's a conspiracy theory.
That's right. I'm like, it would have been easy, and like, Apple's not going to get broke off of Square.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Mike, how do you like your steak?
I like it medium.
Medium?
Yeah. Now
I'm a medium well guy.
Yeah, I used to be well for years. Always well, and then
I was too. Thanks a lot, Dad.
Yeah, and then eventually, I guess with age,
I realized that there's flavor that's
I'm like,
right out.
Yeah. So medium now.
Go-to spot to get a steak.
Oh, it's always been Del Frisco's.
Okay.
What
do we get there?
The filet. They're medium with their cheesy broccoli and their mushrooms. That was the birthday place.
Yeah.
It's so good.
In a previous life, you were a paramedic.
I was, for a long time.
So what, and we talked about this last night on the phone, I did not know there was a difference between EMT and paramedic. What is the difference?
So technically, you're all EMTs, but you have EMT-A, you have EMT-B, you have EMT-P. So EMT-B is the basic. That's what most people are. It's a 6 to 8 week course. You do the basic stuff. They do a little bit more now. Times have changed where they can administer a few more things or help the patient administer some things. Like they can help you use a EpiPen.
Gotcha.
But a paramedic, we run off of protocols, and we used to be called street docs.
Yep.
And
I've heard that term before.
Yeah. And so because we can perform most or a lot of things that you're going to see in an emergency room out in the field. So it's a lot more school, a lot more training, a lot more responsibility. So I basically bring the emergency room to you.
Okay.
That's, it's where I've got the big box on the back of the truck, gives me all kinds of toys, cardiac monitoring, shocking people, drugs, all kinds of different procedures that we can do. We can intubate, we can do chest decompressions, we can do crikes, like we can do all of the stuff that really would be a life-saving procedure we do out in the field.
How long did you do that?
About 25 years.
25 years. So that was your main hustle for the longest time?
Yeah.
And you got licensed when?
I got licensed in 2013. So
was that during the time as a paramedic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I worked my way up to being, I was a shift captain. So when I was on shift, I was in charge of all operations. So dispatch, street operations, like I was over everything. And so I rode around in my response car or truck, and I had a couple of favorites of those. Those were fun. But
yeah.
And then I ran the shift, but then I managed people. And that probably was the most difficult thing. EMS is not great at setting up your managers for success. They take a good medic from out in the field and they promote them. And like, okay, do good.
You're in charge now.
You're in charge now. Do good. Enforce the policies. And it got to a point where I wasn't enjoying going into work. I'm like, I need to do something different.
Yeah.
So
what would you say was the best part of the job?
Oh, best part of the job? Running lights and sirens.
Yeah.
Yeah, being able
Just being a big kid.
whisk through traffic.
Just being a big kid.
Awesome. Like, I loved it.
Besides, and keep it lighthearted, besides the obvious that, you're seeing people on their worst day possible, what was one of their worst days ever? You're never showing up and people are like, oh, they're happy to see you, but the reason why you're there is not because little Johnny turned.
Well,
what was the worst part of the job?
Probably the worst part of the job is all the sitting around you do, waiting, and the really not the lack of education we give the public on why you need to call 911. It's not because you've been sick for 3 days and it's 3:00 in the morning now you decide you want to go to the emergency room by ambulance. That's a little frustrating, I guess, because all of the training that you have is for like the big stuff, like the real true emergencies, like the life or death. And so the lack of training that we give the public is frustrating.
Yeah.
That's kind of tough.
So transitioning back into real estate, you retired, you said what, 2013? 2013, and you went all into real estate at that time?
Yeah.
And then just recently, gosh, this was within the last couple of years, you joined Homepage?
Yeah, it was a year in April.
Okay. So why, we don't have to talk about where you were or why you wanted to leave, but why did you join Homepage? I'm sure you maybe did some searching around at other brokerages.
I did. I looked around. I was really looking for a full service brokerage because, there's all different types. There's brokerages where you pay them a few $100 each deal and you don't get any support. Well, I need a lot of support. So
yeah,
I wanted to look for a full service brokerage. And I served on the board, vice president. I served on state board, all kinds of committees, and that's where I met Carrie.
Gotcha.
And so I got to know Carrie, and it was kind of funny. We had a conversation one day after a board meeting. I was like, Carrie, I can never join your place over there. She's like, wow. I was like, because I'm old and ugly, and everybody there's beautiful. Like the girls, the boys. Like I'm like and she was like, shut up. Like you were so silly. And so it was a fun conversation. And I really at that time I had no intention of moving. But when I decided to make a move, I really had watched the brokerage grow. And what we're doing.
That was kind of similar to me. Is I was at another brokerage and everything was fine. I wanted a little bit more, wanted something that provided a little bit more. And all of a sudden, I just see this massive. This was probably, I think, December of 22 is when I joined. And the fall leading up to that, just every time I turn on Facebook or Instagram, it's like somebody's joining homepage, another person's joining homepage. I'm like, what is happening right now? Everyone I know is going over there. Like, let's figure out what this is. Like, what is making this place so great? And I'm not going anywhere. Yeah. And it has everything I could possibly need, everything I could possibly want.
The culture's great.
Yes, culture is massive. I told George just the other day, I was talking to him on the phone, and I said, I've thought about getting my broker's license before, but honestly, I know myself, and I know I'm going to want to try and do it if I do get it. So I'm just going to handcuff myself to homepage. I'm just not going to get my broker's license. It's just I can't leave if I don't get my broker's license. So it's very short-sighted. Obviously, the amount of information I can learn getting it is
for sure.
I said it half facetiously, but there was some seriousness to it. Like I
say, you could be a broker and still stay here.
True, but I know myself, and I know that I'm not just going to be able to just let that broker license just sit there on the shelf,
right?
When I could go out and do it, all in on my own. Which I mean, we're 99. We're essentially all in our own anyway.
No desire to be a broker.
No, the headache alone. I've managed businesses before.
Yeah,
that's why I don't know if I want to undertake that right now.
That's why I got out of EMS is because I was managing people.
What is your main lead gen source?
Past clients.
Past clients.
I work 100% by referral.
I do as well. I would say 98% referral only. I do a partnership with Homes.com. I pay them to push out my listings, and they've done a great job of not advertising that you're going to get leads out of this, but you might. I think I've gotten maybe 1 or 2 leads total out of that endeavor with them. So, no transactions corresponded from it, but I also didn't think going into it that I was going to get transactions. This was more of a marketing for my listings, as I am pretty heavy. I'm probably 65-70% listings. So
me as well.
Yeah, it's by design now, but when I first fell into that kind of avenue, I guess it was just dumb luck. You'd have to sell a house.
Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah, two people are unfortunately getting a divorce.
Right.
Maybe somebody passed away and they're going to go move in with a relative. So they have a house to sell. Last year, I think I had like 4 people that I sold their house. They left the state.
Yeah.
They just left. And so they had nothing to buy, obviously, and just had the listing only. And then I've had partnerships with builders as well. So that really stems with the listing stuff. Brian Buffini.
Oh, yeah.
Very huge fan of him.
My dude.
Big advocate for him. You're always pushing his stuff with the other agents. It's gotten a lot of attention, a lot of traction with the other agents.
That's how I work by referral, is that system.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about his methods and what you like about that. What does he bring to the table that maybe other agents that are watching or know you should think about?
So first of all, it's just real. It's real business. Like he started out in this business. He was an agent and he was very successful. And there's a long story behind it, but then he got into coaching and his systems. So the biggest thing is they have a full system. You can run your whole business through their CRM, which I love. But it is all about taking care of people, providing service. Give it out in loaves, it comes back, or give it out in slices, comes back in loaves. I forget how it always says that, but just serve people and be of a servant heart. And then the other part is to invest in yourself. Excuse me, is to invest in yourself. Self-improvement, working on yourself, setting goals, bettering yourself. I forget which speaker it was, but they said it may have been Zig Ziglar, said if you invest more in yourself, you're going to be successful. Or if you invest more in yourself than you do your business is going to thrive. It's something along there.
He's doing like 100-day challenge or something right now. Is that?
It's called 100 Days to Greatness, and it's geared toward new agents. Okay. So your first 100 days in the business. So get a lockbox, join an association, but all the stuff in the background, how to serve your clients, dialogues. It's that whole system. So it's good for experienced agents as well that don't have a system in place, or they've got an Excel spreadsheet and they just kind of use that. It makes it simple.
Yeah, I just switched. I was with Sierra for a CRM, and I just switched to Follow Up Boss because it just felt like Sierra was kind of bland. It just, the interface was fine. Well, again, like I said, I don't like to settle for fine.
Sure.
So I was like, we'll export our contacts. We'll import them to Follow Up Boss. I think it's, maybe $20-$30 more a month. Let's figure out what happens. I've had tons of other agents tell me, like, oh, Follow Up Boss is the best. It's the best. You got to try it. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, let's try it and see how it works. So that's a work in progress. We're like 2 weeks into it. Yeah, I'm definitely, I will self-admit I'm not the best at using a CRM. I used one for 8 years in the gym industry, and it just, my eyes get crisscrossing all those names. I've got that PTSD from back then where I was making 100 phone calls a day.
Yeah. This one is, you click on calls, it has the next 5 people you need to call. Yeah. You click on notes, the next 5 people you need to write a note to. You just follow it. And it keeps you on track to make sure you aren't being in touch too often.
Yeah. I just did my own, and like every CRM, they've got those pre-templates.
Sure.
I just made my own though through ChatGPT. And
that stuff's awesome.
I know it does a full 365-day calendar, kind of ramps it up at the beginning, like, hey, it's time. And if they haven't bought by now it starts to space them out. And it's like, okay, don't be the squeaky wheel anymore, but stay top of mind as well. So just, working through that with ChatGPT was kind of fun yesterday. I messed with that basically all day. Anything else
about that? So
yeah.
Show me that side.
I will, yeah. Anything else on Buffini?
No.
There's always a lot, but...
The conferences,
He's got one in November, right?
Well, there's one that we're going to in September.
Is that the one in Nashville?
No, the one in November is Nashville. It's
what date is that?
1-day event. It's the 21st is the full day. The 20th is like it's a networking event.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about going to that.
Come on, man.
Well, now I can't. I'm going to Austin.
Oh, come on.
Sorry. I'm going to Austin to see the UK-Texas football game. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going with my buddies, and then we're going to Vegas for a couple days after that.
Well, yeah. I mean, that sounds fun, too.
It sounds like Buffini does them kind of frequently. If he's got one in September, another one in November.
Sure. Yeah, well,
I think there's going to be an opportunity for me to make another one.
They're all different types of events.
Yeah, of course.
So, but he does have several per year, probably 6 or 7 a year.
Yeah. So, no, I'd like to start going to some of those conferences.
It changed my life. I can trace it back to August 2014, the first event that I went to. Les Brown was the speaker, and changed my life. Put me on a different path I was on before. That's why I love this business. It's changed me for the better as a person.
Yeah, I think the best part about it for me is just schedule autonomy, just being able to, if I don't...
It's also the hardest part.
It is. But see, I've had, thankfully, good parents, sports career. Like, I can be lazy for like a day. And after that, I'm like, no, we're done. It's time to, I'll get anxious if I'm not doing something. I got to keep going. Like I was a serial entrepreneur for a while. Like I just was constantly coming up with ideas, trying to, make a business, start some, make some money. All right. NAR stuff. The new stuff's out.
It is.
Yes. We're not going to
It's not new, but it's out.
Yeah. We're not diving into the weeds on this stuff.
Sure.
Like this, we're touching the surface.
Absolutely.
We could go on for an hour probably talking about this. Have you had the conversation with buyers yet?
Oh, I've been having it for months now.
Yeah. Have you had any pushback on the docs?
No.
I had an agent call me on a listing and say I couldn't show your listing. They refused to sign it.
Okay.
I was like, that sucks. And I was like, we were offering compensation, right? She said, yeah. I was like, and they even like a 1 day, they didn't want to do it. They said no. They didn't want to sign anything. It was a Zillow lead, so
yeah. Well,
or we don't even know if they were pre-approved. I mean, I don't. She may have. She probably
for sure,
but
for sure. And that's where that's what I like about it is we have to have conversations with people.
Yeah.
I think the agents that are freaking out are the ones that don't have conversations with their clients and they're meeting them for the first time on the front porch.
Yeah.
And it's too big of a deal to meet someone on the front porch. Mm-hmm. I usually tell people that I don't know, even if it's from a lead, is I'll show you one, but then we've got to sit down and have a conversation. We got to go through the process.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, and sign calls like, hey, yeah. I'm in. I had a perfect example. I sold a house in my neighborhood, and I sold it to a guy that literally my sign was in the yard. He calls me and says, hey, we're in the driveway, and I was like, well, I live around the corner. I got some basketball shorts on. Let me, change real quick, and I'll be over. I'll be over in 5 minutes if you want to look at it. So I said, yeah, 100%. This was, months ago. So, but
sure.
I don't see that being an issue as long as that's when I think you're going to have that front porch conversation.
For sure.
And what's really going to be stressful is when you have to have that front porch conversation and it's raining.
Well, you just have it in the car.
Yeah. So
hey, I'm going to get in your car, or you can get in mine, creeper mode. But
yeah.
But we've got to have a conversation.
Yes. All right. I'm just going to put this out there. This came out the other day. It was actually from a TikTok from the guy that we were talking about before we went on, Jared James. The attorneys for the NAR settlement, he submitted his invoicing for services rendered on the lawsuit. He is asking for $10.1 million.
Of course he is.
Is
that all?
7,000 hours of service, which comes down to, quick math, $1,500 an hour.
Man.
And his words, Mike Ketchmark's words, not mine. Realtors fleeced the clients.
Can you imagine if we could charge $1,500 an hour?
So, like I said, just going to leave that out there. The world can do with it as it pleases.
It's just unreal.
But the realtor who charged probably at most 6%, I think that's fair to say. Everything is negotiable. Let me also add that. But I don't know of a single...
I used to charge 7.
Yeah.
So it's all negotiable.
100%. It is, I have tons of listings where it's less than 6. I have tons of listings where I don't have anything more. But I have done flat fees for clients. It really just depends on the property.
What minute you didn't price fix? You didn't charge everybody?
No, I wasn't involved in that that backroom talk.
None of us were.
No, I missed. It must have gone to my spam folder. I missed the email of where we were supposed to go.
Yeah.
So, Mike, you have a new project.
I do.
Yes.
I do.
You and some other agents have a new project. Tell us about that. When can we expect it? What is it going to be, and what are we doing with it?
So it is going to be a show, and it's called Louisville Unveiled, 3 Agents, 1 City.
All right.
And we go around and show off our city, cool things about the city, cool places.
Who are the agents besides yourself?
Myself, Kat Hagler, and Mary Shavley.
Okay.
And that was one of the reasons I came here as well, because we have the media team, and they could produce this, because it's been in my head for years. I've tried to get it off the ground for a while, and I needed more help than I could get.
Yeah. Do we have any sneak peeks of where some of these places are?
I could tell you where some we've done. One we've done is
teaser.
The Muhammad Ali Center.
That's awesome.
It is really cool.
Yeah.
Like
I went there on a field trip with my daughter's school.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah. I hadn't been through it fully until we did this, and it's a really cool place. And then probably the tearjerker one will be at CODA, which is the Kentucky Organ Donor Association.
Oh, gosh.
And so, I'm a paramedic, and so I knew about it. A lot of my friends work there now that I used to work with. And I just wanted to do a story on them because it's an incredible group. It's an incredible thing. But there's also the tragic side to it as well. And we wanted to tell both sides of that. And it wasn't tough, but it was a very strong episode.
Yeah, that'll be cool. And then where will we be publishing that on?
YouTube.
Okay.
It'll have its own YouTube channel. Homepage will push it out. We'll all push it out. We're hoping to start the launch in September, I think.
Okay.
I hope.
This will probably air at the end of September.
Oh.
So it is August 30th today. We publish these out about a month after they're recorded. That's why we kind of we don't get too much in the weeds on anything because it's topical. We try to hit stuff that's going to be applicable. So hopefully at this time, if your episodes are out, we will link it in the description below.
You can link both.
Yes.
That'd be
All
awesome.
Right. Let's get out of here with a closing gift. Every guest gets a gift.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Love gifts.
Yes, the gift has been rehomed. It was mine, and it is now yours. Didn't buy it. We don't pay for gifts.
Is it a head shaver?
No, we have a budget that's very low. So you get some stuff that was given to me by two men in a truck.
Nice.
Free ad from them. Also get some more stuff from two men in a truck. Nice little coffee mug.
These would be great at the lake.
Exactly. Good little. I don't know what those purple lids are, but some pins, some koozies.
Nice.
Maybe it's like a Tide stick or something.
I bet it's...
hand sanitizer. Nice. All right, that's a good win. This is a cool one. Have you seen the show Breaking Bad?
Of course.
All right, here's a fake ID Walter White that you can put on your credit card. Still has a little slot for the credit card and everything.
That's awesome.
And, of course, spending late nights here, you may need...
Are you just
battery bank?
Getting rid of stuff?
Yeah, that's exactly that's literally this whole...
This is way too much stuff.
And when you're late, a Rubik's Cube.
All right.
So that is... That's how it's part of the show is I get rid of my old stuff. It's a power bank.
Battery bank, okay.
Yeah. So you
Nice.
have to use your own cords. Like I said, it's used. These are not. These are fresh.
Okay, great.
But no, Mike,
Beer
seriously,
quizzes.
I appreciate the time.
You as well, my friend.
It's been fun.
Thanks for having me.
I'm glad I got you for 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Uninterrupted.
because I'm a talker, too.
It's all right. That's the whole point of a podcast. Is
I guess that's true. That's true.
All right. Anything else you want to plug? Anything socials?
Yeah. Man, just be professional out there. Like, be good agents. Take care of people. That's what we really do. I don't think the media doesn't portray what we really do out there.
Oh, it's all clickbait stuff.
It is, but we really care about our people, and we get emotionally involved. Like, it's a big deal to us.
Yes. All right. Other than that, we'll see you on the next episode.
Peace out.
Thanks.